This is episode number 232 of the Middle Country Public Library podcast. Hello and welcome. Sal DiVincenzo here, as usual, with my fabulous colleagues, Sara Fade.
Hi.
Nicole Rambo.
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
Okay.
Good.
You know, I'm noticing the day on the calendar here, and summer is quickly approaching its end, which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, look, we're about halfway through, I guess, the season, right?
Yeah, definitely halfway through.
Yeah, halfway through the season. And it's very important, listeners, especially on YouTube, that you hit that like button.
Oh, right.
And you hit subscribe.
That's right.
Because we would like to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the summer. And we're saying Labor Day weekend, right? We might have to push that maybe to the end of the year. Anyway, so that's what we got going.
Yeah, I mean, it's a loose.
Yeah, yes. We want 1,000 subscribers shortly.
Before this ends.
Before
we retire.
Before we are led out to pasture. But seeing as that the summer is quickly moving here, we have a big event coming up on July 29th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. in Center Reach. It is our annual Island Idol. Teens entering 6th grade and recently graduated 12th grade will be here. Singers, musicians, guitarists, music-related folks will be here to perform and battle it out. Used to be called Battle of the Bands, just a little fun fact there. Battle it out for the best performances, and they will win a prize. The winner will win a prize, obviously.
We'll have like a winner, a runner-up, stuff like that. So a couple.
Yeah, the top three, right?
Yeah.
Honorable
Sometimes it's top
mention
three.
or something.
Sometimes it's like age group. It kind of depends on who auditioned, but
yeah.
Winners.
And look, you don't have to be a family or a friend of the people who are performing. No. We want everybody to come down and support.
It's not ticketed or anything.
Yeah, no, it's support your community members and listen to some good music. And these are very talented kids, I have to say.
Yeah.
Yes, yep.
So again, July 29th, 6 to 10 in Center Reach in the parking lot. Hopefully we'll have good weather, and that's it. So for this week's episode, Sara has a great idea here. She's going to do some reading, aren't you, Sara?
Yeah, sorry, you have to.
Sorry, you have
I'm
to.
gonna fall asleep.
You have to hear,
not in a bad
my
way.
voice. Yeah, nice, Nicole. Nice.
But you know when you like listen to someone read, you fall asleep.
Actually, I like your reading.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
It's a compliment saying puts me to bed.
Is that why I talked to you and I look over and you're softly snoring?
Yeah.
Nicole?
Some people use the white noise machines.
Yeah.
Nicole uses yours.
I know. I record you, Sara.
Happens very quickly.
It's like drone on and on about my bags. So, Nicole, I saw on Amazon this blue bag. It had 2 buckles, but okay. So I pulled a few books that everyone likes some beach reads, and Nicole, as we know, likes romance.
Yes.
However, as we all know.
However, this is Sara Fade.
No. But guys, now that there's more shark sightings, right?
Yeah.
And there's been more
It
shark.
is ridiculous.
And they say it's a good thing, though, because that means our waters are cleaner and everything. Which is
really?
Nice.
Oh, yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah, it's like a buffet for the sharks.
Well, it's their land, too.
Oh yeah, no, I don't feel bad.
So, some really good beach reads would be to read about some books set on the beach that might be a little scary or suspenseful, right?
Scary beaches.
Yeah. So I picked 5 books. I'm not going to read, obviously, all of them. However, so the first book, right, is called The Deep by Alma, Katsu. We have it in the library. It's also available on the Libby app.
Okay. Was this made into a movie?
No, not this one. Someone or something is haunting the ship. Between mysterious disappearances and sudden deaths, the guests of the Titanic have found themselves suspended in an eerie, unsettling twilight zone from the moment they set sail. Several of them, including maid Annie Hebley, guest Mark Fletcher, and millionaires Madeline Astor and Benjamin Guggenheim, are convinced there's something sinister, almost otherworldly, afoot. But before they can locate the source of the danger, as the world knows, disaster strikes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Years later, Annie, having survived that fateful night, has attempted to put her life back together. working as a nurse on the 6th voyage of the Titanic's sister ship, the Britannic, newly refitted as a hospital ship. She happens to cross an unconscious Mark, now a soldier fighting in World War I. At first, Annie is thrilled and relieved to learn that he too survived the sinking, but soon Mark's presence awakens deep-buried feelings and secrets, forcing her to reckon with the demons of her past, as they both discover that the terror may not yet be over. Brilliantly combining the supernatural with the height of historical disaster, The Deep is an exploration of love and destiny, desire and innocence, and above all, a quest to understand how our choices can lead us inexorably toward our doom.
Wow. That actually sounds really good.
Yeah. And it's not that big of a read. It's quick beach read, right?
Okay. Historical fiction, we'll say, right?
Yep. This one is called Something in the Water by Katherine Stedman. It's new. It's really popular. We also have copies here, and there's also copies in Libby as well.
Okay.
And so this is, I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but it's along the veins of what I've been saying, right? So I'm going to read like the first like few paragraphs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can.
It's a book, and you should read it at the beach. Okay, right?
Okay.
Have you ever wondered how long it takes to dig a grave? Wonder no longer. It takes an age. However long you think it takes, double that. I'm sure you've seen it in the movies. The hero, gun to his head perhaps, as he sweats and grunts his way deeper and deeper into the earth until he's standing 6 feet down in his own grave. Or the two hapless crooks who argue and quip in the hilarious madcap chaos as they shovel frantically, dirt flying skyward with cartoonish ease. It's not like that. It's hard. Nothing about it is easy. The ground is solid and heavy and slow. It's so damn hard. And it's boring and long. And it has to be done. Bum, bum, bum.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the first, like, paragraph.
My dad was
Okay.
a grave digger.
Was he?
Wow.
Fun fact.
I'm sure he would agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's called Something in the Water by Katherine Stedman. And I'll tell you, it's about a vacationing couple in Bora Bora, and dun, 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 something happens, and it starts off with some grave digging. So, yeah. The next book is also called The Deep.
Okay.
Oh.
Another The Deep by Nick Cutter. And this is old school horror at its best by Stephen King. And it says, save your last breath to scream. Bum, bum, bum.
So Stephen King liked it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I feel like he likes a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
So they're on a ship. This is what, right? This is about maybe a quarter way in.
Okay.
Okay, ready? So that chilling noise kicked up again. Children's feet dashing above them through the cold, dark sea. You'll hear it a lot, Al said. It's just the pressure from outside. The Trieste is built to disperse it. That's the name of the boat. In kind of a parabolic wave. Sounds freaky, huh? Like scuttling rats. Luke petted LB as he decided to name her, until she quit shaking. That's the dog. She peered at him with a grateful gaze. The edges of her eyes were tallowy white. She was probably suffering from hypothermia. We have to get this dog someplace warm, Al. Right, she agreed. Let's get at... Bum, bum, bum. The scream came from somewhere to the left, although in truth, it was so piercing that it seemed to radiate out of the tube itself. Al broke into a run, moving in the sound's direction. Luke dashed after her, but LB remained pinned where she was. Luke said, "Come on, girl, let's go. Move your butt." The lab whined, her eyes rolling as the glow of Al's flashlight vanished around the gooseneck. Luke crouched down and cradled the dog to his chest. She whined again mournfully this time. "Please don't leave me," but began to stiffen when Luke set off after Al with her in his arms. "Shh, girl, you're okay." The dog softened into his chest. She kept her chin tucked tight to Luke's shoulder, looking backward, studiously avoiding whatever lay ahead.
Oh no. Dog.
That sounds
Yeah. So it's a dog,
suspenseful.
I don't like.
two people
I don't like.
on a
dogs.
scary boat. Okay. Then the next book is the classic Jaws
Oh yeah.
That's right.
by Peter Benchley. We all know the movie. However, they say the book is scarier, right?
Okay.
Wait,
so
what
let's
beach
see.
are they at?
Amity?
Amity.
Yeah, there's
Amity
a
Harbor.
person that lives on my block that has the like they have a Jeep and the tire like the wheel in the back and they have the thing around it says like welcome Amity Beach. Or something like that.
Okay, so here we go. This is like page 10, right, of the book. So, a little taste of Jaws, the book. The woman rose and walked to where the gentle surf washed over her ankles. The water was colder than the night air, for it was only mid-June. The woman called back, "You sure you don't want to come?" But there was no answer from the sleeping man. She backed up a few steps, then ran at the water. At first her strides were long and graceful, but then a small wave crashed into her knees. She faltered, regained her footing, and flung herself over the next waist-high wave. The water was only up to her hips, so she stood, pushed the hair out of her eyes, and continued walking until the water covered her shoulders. There she began to swim, with the jerky head-above-water stroke of the untutored. 100 yards offshore, the fish sensed a change in the sea's rhythm. It did not see the woman, nor yet did it smell her. Running within the length of its body were a series of thin canals, filled with mucus and dotted with nerve endings, and these nerves detected vibrations and signaled the brain. The fish turned toward the shore. The woman continued to swim away from the beach, stopping now and then to check her position by the light shining from the house. The tide was slack, so she had not moved up or down on the beach, but she was tiring, so she rested for a moment, treading water, and then started for shore. The vibrations were stronger now, and the fish recognized prey. The sweeps of its tail quickened, thrusting the giant body forward with a speed that agitated the tiny phosphorescent animals in the water and caused them to glow, casting a mantle of sparks over the fish. The fish closed on the woman and hurtled past, 12 feet to the side and 6 feet below the surface. The woman felt only a wave of pressure that seemed to lift her up in the water and ease her down again. She stopped swimming and held her breath. Feeling nothing further, she resumed her lurching stroke. The fish smelled her now, and the vibrations, erratic and sharp, signaled distress. The fish began to circle close to the surface. Its dorsal fin broke water, and its tail, thrashing back and forth, cut the glassy surface with a hiss. A series of tremors shook its body. For the first time, the woman felt fear, though she did not know why. Bum, bum, bum.
God, that's Jaws.
Dinner time.
Yeah. So if you want to read the rest, I think we know what happened.
And next week is Shark Week
And Shark Week.
on Discovery Channel. Starts the 24th.
So
Nice.
And there's on Thursday, I'm looking at the schedule right now. On Thursday, the 28th, is Sharks with Tracy Morgan, and I feel like that'd be funny.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Do you remember his like SNL like thing with the animals? I hope it's just that, but like with the sharks.
Yeah, so there you go. So we have all of these books in the library and on the Libby app, and I think people should take them out and before they go into that shark-infested water.
Yes.
And really scare themselves silly.
Especially Smith Point.
Yeah.
They're all off of Smith Point right now.
Yeah. Well,
You know. Cool. Thank you, Sarah. Very good. What's the audiobook award again? That's
The Odyssey.
The Odyssey. The Odyssey is on its way.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Nicole. What do you have for us this week?
Or a little different topic.
Mm-hmm.
So recently I had I was on desk and a child and a parent came to the desk and
as they usually do.
As they do, so, yeah. And the child was asking for books. Like she was giving author names, and I happened to like overhear. Like I wasn't helping them directly, but my coworker was. And so I heard the first author name, and like I was like, that sounds like someone I read. Like about like, oh, maybe there's an author I don't know about that's also a children's author, whatever. Blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think of anything. And then she said the next one, and that one I knew for a fact was like the author that I read, and so. You know, I chimed in. I was like, "Is that the book you're looking for?" And I'm like, and she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "For you?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" And they were like, this book talker or YouTuber recommended these books, and and I was like, "All right, well," and I asked the parent, and the parent hadn't heard of them. I guess don't read that, which is fine. And I was like, because these books are all going to be in the adult section. These are, books that I read, not adult books. Mm-hmm. And it's common. This happens often because some kids are advanced readers. So they're reading at an advanced level, and they might be watching YouTubers that, you know, are like a little bit older than them, and which is very common, you know, and getting recommendations, and that's great. But when you're reading at advanced level, doesn't mean the content in it is age appropriate. So there's this kind of, you know, little like finesse that you have to do where you're finding age appropriate content, but with a little bit harder of a, or a little bit more advanced reading level, you know, that does push them a little bit and keeps them like interested. And so there's articles all over about this thing, you know, this topic, because it does happen quite often. Mm-hmm. And I found one from Scholastic where they talk about, they give some tips. So the author of this particular article says, you know, you want to honor their interests and share yours. And a lot of times what happens in school as well is they'll give kids reading levels. We have so many parents, caregivers that come in and go, my child's reading at level T. Can I get a list for that? And that's fine. You know, of course, we have lists and we can give you that. But it's also good to let them pick what they want to read as well. You know what I mean? And if it's, you know, on a different level, that's, you know, okay.
Yeah, you don't want to discourage them.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you want to know, you know, what the level is. It's always a good thing to know, but it doesn't mean it's not strict. It's not like the be all end all. You can, you know, let them, you know, kind of read what they want to read as well. And also she says, like, advanced readers will still want to read Clifford because that's where their emotional development or interest may be outside of reading. So if you know they're advanced and they're picking younger books, you don't discourage them from that either. You know what I mean? They can go back and read things that they've read. That's okay. It's still reading at the end of the day. And, you know, that's always, and the more you encourage them to just read in general, the stronger their reading will get, you know, and you go from there. So, and especially advanced readers, she says they thrive on self-selection. So letting them pick what they want, which can be hard. You know, sometimes you're like, you've read that book 1,000 times, or, you know, how many, you know, science fiction books can you read, or how many books about cats can you read, you know, and there's a lot. There's a lot out there. They can read all of them. So you might want to do a little bit of, like, you know, I'll pick one this week, you pick one next week, maybe go back and forth with them and go like that. But you do want to give them, like, authority over, you know, what they're reading as well. Another thing for, like, advanced readers, help your child make connections with their text. So like at the end of the book, talk about how the characters changed. It gives them opportunity to grow their comprehension skills, like what they read, you know, because they may be able to read advanced words, but they don't know what's happening, which I think we see in adults too. You know what I mean? Like, reading comprehension is different than reading, like, literacy. You know what I mean? Like, so that's always a good thing to practice. But this tip particularly is screen selections for content, which is kind of what I was talking about. And it's just kind of, if you know they're an advanced reader and they're picking out things that have been older, you don't have to be an expert on children's fiction or books in general or anything like that. But you might want to just Google the title, see what the reviews are saying, see what the blurb is. Common Sense Media, which we've talked about plenty of times on here. A lot of times they have a ton of titles, and they'll say, you know, what parents think, what kids think, you know, what the experts think, and, you know, you can go from there. You don't have to read the book. No one's saying that, you know what I mean? But
my goodness, that would be terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, just, you know, to make sure, you know, that overall it's, you know, appropriate. Follow authors and series that your child likes. You know, Rick Riordan has about 1,000 books, you know what I mean? So if you get on one, you know, there's a bunch there. Even Patterson has a lot of, like, children's books. But you also have to be careful there, too, because there are some authors that cross over, that have adult series, just like James Patterson, and, you know, has, like, younger series. So if they're like, oh, I read this author, and they just pick it up, it might be one of their adult works. Yeah. Just, like, take a look, you know what I mean? But it's good, you know, if there's, like, an author or series that the kids like, then just run with it, read them all. Encourage your child to start a book club with peers who read at their level. I guess this was kind of happening over the pandemic when it shut down, but parents noticed that it was a good opportunity for kids to, you know, talk about books, and they also, it's a good opportunity for them to branch out of a genre they might not, because if you have a group,
someone else
right, so they each pick one each time, and so one kid likes nonfiction, one kid likes sci-fi, one kid like historical fiction, you know what I mean? You can kind of go from there, which is nice. We have a book club here for younger kids. We have, like, the talk about it book club, and that you don't have to read a particular specific book. You can just come and talk about the books that you like.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's something. And then that's the Scholastic article, and they give you some recommended books. And then there's another article that we'll put in the show notes from readbrightly.com. kind of goes over the same idea of letting them pick and about the levels, and that you can, you don't have to follow them to the T. But they also have a good list of books that are written at a 5th to 8th grade level, but the content is appropriate for 7 to 9-year-olds. So that's nice. So those are some good books that are advanced, but the content in it is still appropriate. And then on the side, there's also other articles that they recommend for similar kind of like ages and advanced books and stuff like that. The only thing that I find sometimes with that, even if it is advanced, sometimes the covers of these books are still cartoonish, and kids are like put off by the cartoonish of the cover. So you have to try to like remind them, like, it's just the cover, and even though it looks a little like, it's still a good book, you know what I mean? It's still appropriate. It's still going to be a challenge and like interesting for you, because that's like the one thing that I do find sometimes.
What's that? That's that famous saying, don't rip the cover off the book, judge it.
That's the one. That's what I tell all the kids. They're like, "Hey, Mr. Rambo, that sounds good." But yeah, so I don't know. I just thought that was like, when that came up, not the first time it came up, but and it was particularly just like funny to me because these are the books that I read, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
Were you like questioning something? Or like, wait a minute.
I was like, "Did she have a new series for children?" I was like. But yeah, so there's some things. So if you do have an advanced reader in your life, there's some things to look into.
Great. Yeah. Thank you very much, Nicole.
You're welcome.
And that does it for another episode. If you want to listen to older episodes or read our show notes, and we'll have everything that Sara and Nicole talked about today in our show notes, it's our website. It's mcplpodcast.com. You can also email us, podcast@mcplibrary.org, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions. You can also comment below on YouTube or comment on our Podbean page, which again is mcplpodcast.com. Hit the like button. Please hit subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. So for Sara Fade and Nicole Rambo, I'm Sal DiVincenzo. We'll see you on the next show.